I was going to bring you out to my kitchen garden and give you another tour of what that looks like, and to go out there and record all the other things, all the other gardens that you haven't even seen yet this season that are just bursting with life. There have been a lot of big changes in that garden. I have planted some new things that are coming up, and we have started working on moving the coop, but there's one big thing in the way of me showing you that garden. Let's go outside and check that out. Came outside, I checked on the animals, feed the rabbits and the chickens that are back this way behind the shop. I noticed that my view was a little different. You might not know what's missing right there, but we do. Let me show you. Yes, friends, that is a massive tree that had fallen in the storm that we had. I believe somebody said this was a silver maple, and I know it had been dead for a few years. We just haven't been able to get it cut down. So it took the whole root system out of the ground. We had plastic all the way back here, and it was strawed, so that would be one less area we have to mow. But this thing is just massive. This is really big. So, even though my kitchen garden is still there waiting for me to do another tour for you, we're going to have to take care of this first because I can't really get inside of it. On the bright side, not really the bright side, but the Lord always takes care of us, right? He cares about all the things. And friends, if you don't love the same Lord I love, that's okay. You're still welcome here. We all can have community together. But if you do worship the Lord and love Him and see how He is so faithful, you will understand the story that I'm about to tell you. So despite the fact that we have this really big tree right here, and we can see God's faithfulness in all this. So I have rabbits over here. Of course, this is the shop. Our propane tank was right next to that tree right here, probably 4 feet from it. We have 2 barn sheds over here. The first one, which you can barely see, barn shed 1 is what it's called. It holds all of our bins for market and all of my merchandise that I have binned up to put into the shop when we get the shop cleaned out, as our canopy tent and tables and stuff. And actually the stuff that we had been taken to market, we put in the shop. And last week I told my husband, I want to put that in the barn shed because I want to get the shop cleaned up and ready, to invite people to come shop out here. And he encouraged me not to just wait. And listen to your husbands, ladies, people, because we would not have been able to get into there for any of our market stuff. Now, next to that barn shed is another barn shed over here. It has stuff that I'm trying to clean out, so wasn't too worried about anything getting damaged in there. But right in between those barn sheds, under this really big tree, I guess I could get into the garden. My husband and son came out this morning and took some branches down. There's a chicken coop. And then we have the entrance to the orchard garden. So, guys, God is so faithful. This tree landed in almost the perfect spot if we had to choose where for it to go. We did lose some things. There's a cattle panel right there that is completely crushed. There is a corner up there you can kind of see in the chicken roof, way up there. That's kind of crushed. So let me see if I can get a little bit closer. So it didn't take the fencing down. We have fencing as the ceiling up there as a roof. It didn't take the fencing down. It just broke branches over there, and it broke a piece. None of the barn sheds were damaged. The roofs were fine. That was the only damage to our chicken run. Our chickens were fine. Our garden is good. We did lose over this arbor right here. We did lose this one piece. And even the sliding glass doors that I had stuck in a pile there and took a picture to send to a friend weren't even crushed. Guys, this is just amazing. The rooster agrees. Our God is good, right? This did not land on the shop. It did not land on the sheds. It did not land on the chickens. It did not land on the propane tank. It didn't even land on this garden. And so I know it's little, but all these things that I had been growing, you know, I don't want them to get destroyed. None of us do. And so I just want to, you know, show you. This big old thing I thought was in the way of getting into the kitchen garden. I'm in here now. The boys must have cleaned up some branches this morning. This is what happened. So we are just trusting the Lord to provide, and we know He will. Oh, it took out one of the sprinklers over there. I have sprinkler heads like this throughout my entire property. This is our IV system. This is our irrigation system. We go above ground with bunches of hoses instead of on the ground, and it took out one of the sprinklers over there, but I mean, that's a $15 replacement. That's nothing compared to what we would have had to do for the buildings or anything else. We do have part of this fence that was crushed, but again, I can lift that back up. Let me show you my kitchen garden, because y'all, I'm in my kitchen garden. I guess some of the big changes that we've done back here is we've moved the nesting boxes from the coop on the other side of the house. We've gotten all of our wood, some of it is laying down back there, framed out and ready to be put in for our doorways, and to start putting our fencing up here so that we can completely enclose that. The other big change, which I can walk over here and show you. I guess this isn't a very big change. It's a bunch of little changes, and we haven't quite finished this job, but we've been getting pots and putting runners in for the strawberries. We still have a bunch more to do. We got some down here. I gotta come all the way along the side and do it. Our broccoli is done, so the chickens are gonna get that. Our cabbages are still doing well. I think it was a combination of the storm and also the animals that have been back here, but they completely shredded this cover. I just took that one off because that part was all shredded. Anyway, peppers are growing okay. There's marigolds and milkweed over there that we're letting grow. They're yellow. I think I need to fertilize them with some fish emulsion and to get them watered. This is the strawberry bed that we're trying to thin out and put little baby things down. And then over here you can see another big change. So we have one row of tomatoes doing well. That whole row is pole beans. Let me see if I can walk around and show you a closer look over there. I've got to harvest the bee balm that's out here. Let's go over here and check out this crate garden that we did. I think I showed you that in my last video. They have this big stick pile here. So, yeah, I guess I can get kind of close to it. You can see just how big that tree is. So this is tomatoes. I'm not exactly sure what variety. I got these from a friend who was selling them at farmer's market. She had extra ones. And then over here I planted some whole green beans. So those are doing very well. I need to come out here this week and put some posts up with some string and see when they're ready to climb, they have something to climb on. They need to be watered. I was going to water today, but we're going to hold off. I think we might have some friends come in tonight to help us saw some of this down, and so I'm going to wait and see. And then these two rows right here are going to be the strawberries. We have a couple of crates that already have strawberries in them. That is why I am putting all those runners in pots, and hopefully I can fill these beds with strawberries. And then this back row right here is bush beans. I didn't get a chance to grow any green beans this year in our garden. Just doing all the other things, y'all. You know how it is. So as soon as I put these in, I thought, oh, we're prepping this for next year. And then like every other gardener, you're like, I want to put something in there now. I've done all this work and it looks beautiful. We are getting more straw to fill the pathways there. And then these, this last row needs some mulch. And those 2 rows I might just leave empty this year. Truly, I might leave them empty. I have pumpkins and squash stuff trying to grow all over in other parts of the yard, and it might be good to just focus on these other 6 beds, or 6 beds that I have stuff growing in. So this is an update of our kitchen garden and the crate garden. I would love to get a really cute name for my gardens and put signs out that say what they are. I know these are crates, but it would be so cute if I could have, like, I don't know, another fun name. But this is my kitchen garden and what we have been embracing. Lots of wood, lots of limbs, and we do have some friends that burn with wood, so we are going to offer this up once we get it down in chunks. Oh, I do have pumpkins going, which is really good because these struggled for so long. We transplanted like 3 times. So we have some different variety of pumpkins. Some are still really small. And I have some over here growing. And then a random milkweed that we're just letting come up. But I need to fertilize them again. Their leaves are still pretty yellow. And then we have some random raspberries I need to dig up. I'm noticing back here. So, yeah, friends, we have to embrace everything God gives us. We don't have to be happy about it or joyful about it. Honestly, my heart sank and I almost cried when I saw it because it was just one more thing on our list that we have to do. But it's also one more way that we can trust God to provide and help take care of us. And those are amazing stories that we can pass on to our children. More pumpkins growing. These are still so small. Well, until next time, friends, I hope that I can show you the story of God's faithfulness. I'm sure I will. He already was faithful. He already put this tree in a place where it didn't do any damage. But we're going to try and get this cleared up, and we can find ways to be thankful. We can find ways to praise God, and we know that He takes care of us. Friends, we've had a lot of help today. It has been such a blessing. We have a game night friend, Jonathan, and his boys, and they have been hard at work. Look at that. I think they've only been out here maybe an hour. They had 2 chainsaws, and they got a lot of this already cut up in the driveway, excuse me. I don't know if this cattle panel is salvageable. We might try and see if we can like zip tie it to some T-posts, get it straightened up, but that's all right. I'll take it. I'll take a squished cattle panel over a squished shed. Both of these sheds were undamaged. Like I said, in the coop, the roof is a fence. This is what we do to enclose our runs. We run farm fencing along the roof, and we brace it, and it does really well. We haven't had a problem with it except when a branch falls on it. So that bracing broke, so we're gonna have to come in here and stabilize that again. But there's no holes. There's no way a predator can get in. There's a branch on top of it we'll have to get off. But it's fencing. It's not ruined. All our chickens are good. They still have to get some of the bigger stuff done. But wanted to kind of update you. God is taking care of us. He always does. Always does.